Hello and welcome to Nithrania YouTube channel. You're watching another episode of the Game in a Nutshell series designed for explaining the board game rules. My name is Branislav Berec, and in this video we're going to learn how to play TroublezRun, Revenge of the Jellinator, a kids game or a family type of game for 2 to 4 players. Plays in about 20 minutes and the recommended age is 5 years or more. So let's get started. To set the game up, shuffle these animal tiles and put the stack face up on the table. Each player chooses one of these zombie troubles standee and one randomly drawn animal tile from the stack. This is their first saved animal. Then randomly draw number of tiles equal to the number of players in the game and set them aside. So let's say we have a 4-player game, so I will set 4 tiles aside. And then create the path for the troubles. Start with these 4 starting jelly tiles and then extend the path across the table with all the remaining animal tiles placed in any shape you want. Then place this airship at the end of the path and take the tiles you set aside earlier and place them next to the airship. These tiles are not part of the path. Then place all the troubles and the Jellinator at the start of the path. Take this Jellinator die and these colored dice, the number of dice equals the number of players in the game plus 1, so 5 in a 4-player game. Randomly determine the starting player who will get this first player token, and we're ready to start. The goal of the game is to save, which means to collect as many pairs of these zombie animals as possible, avoid getting caught by the Jellinator, and earn the most victory points. The game is played in rounds and each round has 2 phases. In the first phase all these troubles move, and then in the second phase the Jellinator moves. At the end of the round the first player token is given to the next player clockwise and the next round begins. The game ends when all troubles reach the airship at the end of the path. So at the start of the troubles movement phase, the first player takes all the colored dice, rolls them, and this creates the general supply for the current round. Take the dice and place them somewhere next to the path. Then starting with the first player and continuing clockwise, each player takes 1 turn. On your turn, take one of the available colored dice and place it in front of you. Obviously, don't change the color on the die. This die is yours and no other player can use that die this round. That means other players have fewer dice available when taking their turn. Then, using the color on your die, in this case red, move your zombie forward or backward on the path to the first animal tile of the matching color. At the start of the game you can obviously only move forward, so in our example we move to the red animal. Then take the tile from the path and place it in your personal collection. Your zombie remains on the path in the now empty space. Then immediately after that, flip the tile which is right behind your zombie to the jelly side. If that tile was already flipped, then move to the next one until you find a tile which is not flipped yet and flip it to the jelly side. Let's say the next zombie chooses the purple die. They go to the first purple tile, which is this one, and now there's no other tile to be flipped to the jelly side. If another player chooses the purple tile, then they have to go to this one, and again they need to flip the tile behind them face down. And in our example the last player can only choose the yellow die, so they have to move to this tile, flipping this one to the jelly side. We have flipped a brain here. I will talk about brains in a minute. However, after all players have taken their turn, the troubles movement phase is over and now we can proceed to the Jellinator movement phase. First of all, the first player rolls this Jellinator die. If there is a number on the die, move the Jellinator that many jelly spaces forward. The Jellinator only moves along the tiles with this jelly side up, skipping any animals. In our example we have number 4, so the Jellinator moves 4 spaces forward. Any tiles the Jellinator moves over can be returned back to the box. If the die shows this Jellinator symbol, move the Jellinator forward until it reaches the first space with the zombie. Again, you can return all the tiles back to the box. Now, after the Jellinator moves, the player whose zombie is closest to the Jellinator without being trapped, without being caught by the Jellinator, receives a coin as a reward. Place the coin in your personal reserve. If multiple players are in the same position, they all receive a coin. On the other hand, players caught by the Jellinator are now trapped in a jelly, and such player or players receive the belt token. Similar to coins, keep your belt tokens in your reserve. These coin and belt tokens are double-sided. When you gain a new one, take the token showing one coin or one belt. When you gain another one, you can simply flip the token to the other side, which indicates that you have 2 coins, or in case of belt tokens, it shows that you have now 2 belt tokens. Then again, when you gain another coin, for example, take another token. When you gain another coin, simply flip it to the other side, and so on. After the Jellinator moved and all the coins have been awarded and all the belt tokens have been given to the players, the round ends. Give the first player token to the next player clockwise. That player collects all the dice and the new round begins. Now let's take a look at some special situations. When the tile is flipped and the brain is revealed, you can choose to rescue that brain instead of rescuing an animal tile. If you encounter the brain while moving forward or backward, you may choose to stop on that tile and take the brain instead of the animal tile. For example, if this zombie chooses the green die and decides to move forward, on their way forward they encounter the brain. Which means instead of moving on to the green tile, they may stop on the brain tile, take the brain, add it to your collection. Each brain is worth 2 victory points at the end of the game. And as with the standard movement rules, flip the next animal tile behind that zombie to the jelly side. Then, when the Jellinator moves in this situation and number 2 is rolled on the die, the Jellinator only counts the tiles with this jelly side up, which means the Jellinator will swipe away both of these zombies. The wave of jelly will swipe them forward. They will end up in front of the Jellinator. The Jellinator will end here, so the situation will look like this. Jellinator moves 2 spaces forward. All these tiles can be returned back to the box, actually including the tile where the Jellinator stands. This zombie will be awarded a coin, and these 2 zombies will be given a belt token. The game ends when all players reach the airship at the end of the path. You can reach the airship in 2 different ways. Using the standard movement where the airship counts as the tile of all the colors, so for example now you can choose the green color to move your zombie from this space directly to the airship. The second way of reaching the airship is by being swept away by the Jellinator on its move forward. When that happens, when the Jellinator moves forward, you are swept forward, you move directly to the airship, which means your game is over, but you have to take a life belt token. Now, when you reach the airship, place your zombie next to the airship, your game is over, your turns are skipped and you no longer receive coins. The colored die you used to move to the airship is completely removed from game. Don't flip any tiles to their jelly side. And if you reach the airship by standard movement, take any of these available tiles, which have been set aside here at the start of the game, and place the tile in your collection. Note that you can take a tile of any color, regardless of the die or the color of the die you used to move to the airship. If you reach the airship due to the Jellinator, you don't get any of these animal tiles. So, when all players reach the airship, the game is over and you can proceed to final scoring. Each player scores 1 victory point for each animal saved, so for each tile in your collection. For each brain, you score 2 victory points. Additionally, you score 1 victory point for each pair, either the pair of animals or pair of brain tiles. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 points, 5, 6. For brains it is 2, 4, plus additional 1, that's 5 in total. Then you score number of victory points shown on your coin tokens, so here we have 3. You subtract any number of victory points from life belt tokens. If you have a token showing 2 life belts, that indicates 1 negative victory point. And if you manage to collect the animal tiles of all 6 colors, and in addition you also have at least 1 brain tile, you score additional 3 victory points. Then sum up all the victory points and the player with the most points is the winner. So that's how you play TroublezRun, Revenge of the Jellinator. If you have any questions or comments, I'll do my best to answer as many as I can. You've been watching video tutorial for the TroublezRun. My name is Branislav Berec and see you on the next one.